You're listening to United Public Radio, 107.7 FM New Orleans. That's right. Our guest only did an hour, which is fine. She was a good guest. She had to take off, but that's a cool little thing, you know, when you sit there and you're interviewing them and they're in the place. I mean, you can start to feel it a little bit. Start freaking me out. Like The Shining. But nonetheless...
a lot of activity there.
Well, one of the things I struggle with is, why do I see beings of light? Why am I allowed to see these things made of light with my own eyes? I can wake up, look into the heavens after I wake up late at night, and see these beings in clusters. It's almost like there's classrooms, like they're having class up there in another quantum realm around the earth. And the closest thing I can find to thinking about what it's like is like looking at bees, like, you know, bees and honeycombs. Except imagine the bees are all little spears of light. It's like we're a big collective of light beings, you know? It's like we're an army of these energy beings, and for some reason this is our hive, and we come in and out of life. And I guess the quantum realms are around the earth, and we go in and out of it. And, you know, we've talked about this on the show, but the thing that's so weird is I can see them sometimes. I've seen them leave my house. I've seen them late at night when I peer into the heavens, and like there, it's weird. I mean, I don't understand why I get to see it. I don't know. It's like I've seen
I have an answer to that. I think I have an answer. Our guest mentioned that she thought that the cameras were able to see in a different spectrum. And that's not... there are certain cameras that can look into other spectrums. There are UV and IR cameras. Yes, they can look into the invisible realm of the spectrum of light. But our digital SLRs, our film SLRs, and our digital and film cameras, our motion cameras, can only see in the visible spectrum. So what they pick up is what is actually there that's physical, that can be picked up. Now, what about the aliens and the intelligent light beings? If they are able to pass in and out of the visible spectrum, they're allowing you to see that. It's not that you're any more sensitive than me or Joe or somebody else in the planet. They're allowing you specifically to see them at that moment, and anybody else who's around you will be able to see them. So it's not a question of, are your eyes different? Are you mentally more sensitive to it? Which you may also be. It's an allowance that you are being allowed to see that creature at that specific moment for a specific reason. You don't know the reason, I don't know the reason, but they do, and maybe you'll find out, and maybe we won't.
Well, I wonder too if I'm one of them, or if we all are.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, the meme that I saw on Facebook mentioned the fact that when we pass, our energy passes back to the universe. The universe is packed with energy, and we know from our physics and our science that matter and energy cannot be destroyed. They can be transformed, but they cannot ever be destroyed completely. So they change into some other form of energy or other form of matter. And I think that's what happens with us. We may actually have a luminous being-like form when we pass, but is that being able to allow himself to be visible in the visible spectrum of light or not? I think that's part of it. But when we do pass, whether we go to heaven or you want to call it the seven heavens or whatever magical realm that spirits go, I think it's probably the universe. And then when there's a certain time lapse gone by and there's an available form for you to re-enter the physical realm, you enter, as she said, as our guest said, at the moment of birth. You enter that next, what they call as containers. Most alien races call our species a container. So that's what it is.
I've heard that too. Call it that, a container, and I think that's what it is on some level. But more than that, I mean, I would hope it's me that's in this container and not just some, carousel for whoever the hell wants to use it. That'd be pretty messed up. That don't sound like free will to me. That's not free will. But sometimes I think that's what happens. That's why I'm so weird. It's like I'm a carousel for weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, beings like to flock to other like beings. I mean, you see when you're in high school. I don't know about how your high school was. My high school was very cliquey. You had the motorheads, the guys that worked on cars and worked on engines. They hung out together. You had the leatherheads. They all hung out together. You had the pot smokers. They hung out together. The jocks hung out together. The geeks. And only when we had special events like proms and dances did everyone gather in the same room. But guess what? Everybody broke off into their various cliques. And I think that's exactly how the spirit world is as well, that certain spirits have certain personalities. They hang out together, and it is what it is. Like things enjoy other like things.
I was like quiet and wore like concert shirts and had a trench coat and reading Anne Rice books. I was always quiet.
I don't think I fit in any one category. I clicked with everybody. I talked to everybody in all of the groups, from all through high school. I didn't hang out with all of them, but, and I have a couple of friends still from high school that I hang out with today up here in Maryland, but, I didn't dislike anybody. There are a few people that I would rather never, ever hang out with again, but, I try to be nice to everybody.
I remember a bunch of mean jocks, and now I'll go look on their Facebook page, and they're like really ugly, and I'm like, thank God I'm so good looking now, and they're ugly. They used to be good looking, but they grew up. They're like bullies. Like they were like these good looking bullies, but now I go on Facebook and I'll look at them, and they're ugly. Like they look like I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy, but they look like race hogs.
Yeah, the same.
I'm like, I'm good looking now. I'm good looking now, and they're ugly. So it's like that's how karma works.
Absolutely, that is absolutely correct. And before Facebook, we had all of our high school reunions every 5 years apart. So at the 5-year reunion, not too many changes. 10-year reunion, a few changes. At the 15 and 20-year reunions, that's when everything went downhill, particularly for the jocks and the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders were the pretty ones throughout high school, the ones you had the crush on. 15, 20 years, some of them were going bald, literally. I mean, their hair was thinning out, and they were either pregnant or, gravity took effect of their bodies, and things started to drag and sag. There were some not so attractive ladies in my high school, and 2 or 3 of them showed up to our 15 and 20 reunion. I'm like, who the hell is that? She's gorgeous. And then you look them up in the yearbook, you're like, oh my God, it was her. The one that had braces all the way through high school. No one you would never think of dating, but you see her now, and you're like, wow, I'd ask her out.
It works in reverse. It's like, mutate. But my high school was a nightmare for me. It was just perpetual bullies, and I go home. My dad was a bully, and then it's just bullies everywhere trying to kill me. That was school for me.
Well, if you ever get a do-over, it works, because it worked for me. I had one high school jock in 10th or 11th grade. I had just gotten my driver's license, and they passed me on a one-way street by the junior high school, by our high school, and I thought it was my friend. So I pulled over to see if maybe we could all go out and do something. I thought maybe they had some beer. So this jock gets out of the passenger seat of another jock's car and runs over to my window and launches into my window and starts punching me in the head. And he was wasted, so he didn't do any damage to me. And I'm like, John, stop. His name was John. I won't give you his last name. And he's hitting me in the head. I'm like, dude, please stop. You're not hurting me at all. And then finally he tries to yank me by the head and drag me out of the car, and he scratched my ear, and I saw some blood. So I got mad. So I ran him over. Well, I didn't run him over. I hit him when he tried to get out of the window, the door jamb hit him in the head and knocked him unconscious, and he rolled over my hood into a gutter, a grass gutter, unconscious. And then I aimed my car at the other jock who was standing by his car, and I did a 180 right by his kneecaps, and I missed him by probably a foot or two. Well, those two gentlemen never messed with me the rest of high school. So if you run them over with your car, that works.
Yeah, that's when they leave you alone. When you snap at them. That's how it was with me. I would snap and almost hurt one, and then next thing you know, one came to my school after to apologize and ask forgiveness because apparently he attacked me in school. He had Hitler in his locker, and he tried to make me meet him at this construction site, which I went there, and we got in a big fight, and the police came there, people everywhere watching. He was beating rocks on his head. But anywho, I had done a spell from that Raymond Buckland book, which was a protection spell. And he ended up, after that incident, falling through a plate glass window, getting in a car wreck, knocking a girl up, going to prison. And I guess he equated it with what he did to me, and he came and asked for forgiveness at my job. So,
the guy that I nearly hit with my car at our fourth or fifth reunion, he came up and asked if he could look at my yearbooks, and I had put a big X on his face and the other guy's face. And when he saw his picture on the first yearbook, he quickly passed by that page. And after he looked through all 4 yearbooks, he got up. He said, "Dude, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I'm sorry about me and John trying to beat you up." I'm like, "Oh, well, thanks." So we went and had a drink. So it's under the table.
Yeah, well, you're gonna find bullies everywhere.
Yeah,
they're gonna be in school. They're gonna be on the internet. They're gonna even be in the White House. Nonetheless, I watched that show. You'd like this show, Altered Carbon, on Netflix. It's a sci-fi, 10 episodes new series. And it's kind of like The Matrix or Blade Runner, but it was really good. It's 10 episodes, androids, and they have this. It's based on a book called Altered Carbon, but you can basically get a new body and move your soul into it. It's weird, but it was really good. I just watched the last 10 episodes of it. I mean, the 10 episodes. I went through it in 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I saw the commercials for that. And I think I also saw, I have to check in on IMDb. It looks like there's a new X-Men TV show called Xavier. I guess it's about the early days of Charles Xavier.
Oh, okay. There's one called Legion that's really good. The second season should be happening pretty good. That's about Xavier's son. That's on FX. Oh, I'm really excited. They're doing a Vampire Chronicles on Paramount, and that's going to be by Brian Fuller, who did Hannibal.
Right.
And I hope he don't leave. He leaves everything. He did 3 seasons of Hannibal, but that got canceled. They're supposed to bring that back somehow at some point, but he left Star Trek, he left something else, but I hope he don't leave Vampire Chronicles. It's like, dude, you need to stick with something and, stay there and quit leaving everything. It was bad. Oh, he left American Gods. And it's like, God.
I think he also, I think he was attached to the film project, which became Superman versus Batman, but originally was going to be the death of Superman. I think he was attached to that as either director or executive producer and or writer, and he left that. And that project died and then came back as Batman versus Superman.
Well, I've read the Anne Rice book since chemotherapy. When I was 17, I was dying. It spread to my stomach and lungs, and I escaped into those books and comic books when I was going through it when I was 17. And when I went back to school, people called me a vampire. I think I latched onto those stories because I was dying and something weird happened. And anyway, I'm looking forward to the series, but I love Brian Fuller because I love Hannibal, but it worries me that he's going to do it and leave. I mean, he leaves everything. He left American Gods. Like, stay your ass there and finish it. But It's going to be on Paramount. Paramount actually is new. It used to be Spike on cable, but they changed it to Paramount, and there's a show on there right now that I'm watching called Waco, and Michael Shannon's in it. The guy that said Trump supporters should be in our urn, which not probably a good business move, but he's in Waco as one of the FBI guys. So of course, it's about Waco. I mean, I don't remember who played David Fresh, but it's good. Well, John Leguizamo's in it. It's 6 episodes, but
David Koresh by Taylor Kitsch, who played Gambit in one of the X-Men movies. Yeah.
Well, it definitely. Someone was telling me that people idolize people at Waco. That's true. That's crazy. It was like doing 14-year-old girls and stuff. It's sick. There's some sick stuff going on. But they represent the dark side in the show. It's really good. It's only like a third episode now or whatever, but definitely creepy. And he just did the recording where he talks about seals, and I mean, genuinely was, molesting children like Roy Moore and claiming he was Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. But the show's good. Anyway, I like Michael Shannon.
Yeah,
but,
he was in the Man of Steel movie. I liked him as what's his name? The bad guy, General Zod. Yeah, that was it.
He's in The Shape of Water as the villain. And if you haven't seen The Shape of Water, it's that Creature of a Black Lagoon resurrection movie by Guillermo del Toro. You know, the whole Hellboy guy and Pan's Labyrinth. Was called The Shape of Water. It's really good.
Yeah, I heard good things about it. I think it's going to do a lot of awards at the Oscars. And no, I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's going to pull in a lot of awards.
It already won a bunch of stuff for sure. But, I mean, I don't know if Oscars, I don't even keep up with all that. I know it just won some awards at one of those things, but pretty shocking, too. Don't play it around kids because there's a lot of weird sex scenes in it that you wouldn't think were in it. And I'm like, what? It kind of shocked me. Trying to warn my daughter's mom to not watch it near her. But nonetheless, it's definitely worth checking out. I'd watch it again, and I can't say that for many movies, but you haven't even watched The Shape of Water yet, Paul? For goodness sake. You know what? Are you watching, Paul, are you watching baskets again? Because I got to go to Costco and get some flavored water. They got peach water there. They got grape water. They got cherry blossom. They got watermelon. We're going to go to Costco and get some water. Mrs. Basket.
George is really coming out of you now. I can hear it.
No, Baskets is that show on FX, and Louis Anderson plays his
mom. Yeah.
I like it though. It's a good show. Good show. Enjoyable. But well, I hope the Vampire Chronicles is good. Ash versus Evil Dead starts soon. Season 3. I'm very looking forward to that. Ash versus Evil Dead. That's coming up.
Yeah, they're on season. I thought it was season 2, but okay, season 3 is good. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's another one that was really good. Stan versus Evil, or Stan Against Evil? It's on
like that.
It's kind of like Ash versus Evil Dead. I think it's Stan Against Evil. But Vampire Chronicle, I don't know when that's starting, but hopefully soon, for sure. Oh, another movie that I have to watch probably tomorrow, The Ritual. That started on Netflix, and the author is his name, Adam Neville. He's on my Facebook, and he posts on my page all the time. But it's on Netflix. But here's the thing about it. It's a horror movie. I haven't watched it yet because I just had it. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. But I was reading some reviews of it because I wanted to see if it was any good, and it's got good reviews. But the monster supposedly in it is based off a Norse monster, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. Sign me up. Some Norse going on. Like a modern day horror movie with regular dudes against some kind of Norse creature. That's The Ritual by Adam Neville, Nevill. British horror novel that just started on Netflix. For sure, he posts on my Facebook all the time, but I'm looking forward to it. It's hard to get a good horror movie going. Most of them are garbage. So I'm glad there's something that I can look forward to tomorrow. For sure. That's The Ritual. So
yeah,
what's up, Jack?
I found the Xavier show. I guess it's not about Charles Xavier because the main character's name is Xavier Renquin. So but the commercial, it looked like it was an X-Men thing. I don't know. I have to watch the commercial again, but it I think it's coming on Fox, I believe.
It may be. There's so many comic book spin-offs now. Who can keep up with them? I mean, at this point.
Oh yeah, have you seen the Black Lightning show?
Is that CW? I haven't seen it. I don't really watch any CW.
It is on CW, and it follows The Flash on Tuesdays. It's actually not bad. It's pretty good. It follows kind of the comic book pretty close. In the backstory of the show, Black Lightning had already been killed, or allegedly been killed, by the main gangster that's on or in control of the city now. And his oldest daughter just manifested her powers. She's not lightning. She has super strength. And the younger daughter was attacked by one of a drug dealer. And so her powers, I think, are going to manifest the next show. And her powers are just like Black Lightning. So I think it's going to pan out to be a fairly decent show. Another superhero team show, but it's family. It's the father, daughter, and daughter. So it should be pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I have so many shows now. It's like for some reason I have trouble with CW, but I hear there's some good ones on there. But real quick, I just want to go over some guests coming up. February 16th, Friday, Kevin Candela. Jay will be here. Kevin's a friend of mine from Facebook, and he's in Shadow Pokers with Craig Mullins, and he writes a lot of books. So he's also a musician, so that'll be a lot of fun. We'll have a good time, just kind of chilling and talking about different weird stuff. February 23rd, Natalie Zaman. Wham will be back. She did like a spiritual meditation, like coloring book. So it'll be spiritual. Try to get the spiritual going with that show. And then March 2nd, Brad Abrahams and Matt Ralston, Love and Saucers. I'm really psyched for that one. That's basically David, Huggins from Georgia, alien abductee, and he does all that art with the aliens with tits and stuff. It's pretty good. And like man is people and aliens that like take you and seduce you and make little hybrid babies. But anyway, that's March 2nd. March 9th, Stephanie Woodfield. That's like some dark goddess paganism situation. We're going to resurrect the dark goddess and bring in Ragnarok. March 9th. March 16th, Nick Redfern. Jay, you'll be back. And that's a Slender Man book. Let me see, March 23rd, that's some kind of economical wizardry. A wizard dude, Jason Miller, will be here for that. I don't know. I have to look what his new book is. Gary Sylvia, May 30th, you'll be here with that, Jay. That is the dude. The dude abides. That whole show is going to be about the Big Lebowski and the religion, the new rising religion of the dude. So the dude abides. You understand? It's going to be a whole show about the dude abiding for 2 hours. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand it, but I'm sure I'll make do. the dude abides.
I'll watch it again, just back up to speed.
Hours. So be ready. You see the Big Lebowski, right?
Yeah, as I was just saying, I think I might have. I don't know if I have it. I'll have to watch it again to get back up to speed.
I don't know how. I mean, I like the movie and everything, but the whole religion based on it, I don't know. I'm going to have to write down some keywords for that. The dude abides. I'm sure I can wing it. I'm sure I can wing it.
Alley?
Most of the other shows are paranormal coming up, and then April 20th, Diana Paxson on Norse runes and Odin and Norse. That's a good one. I'm looking forward to that one. May 4th will be here for this one, Jay. Byron Lacey. You should add him on Facebook. He's been on Coast to Coast. He's an alien contactee.
Okay, cool.
I need to send you his stuff. I think he sent me a bunch of stuff. I'll have to send it to your email. Send me your email sometime. Oh, yeah, you got to give me that bio.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Do it, son.
I will. I'm working on Monday or Tuesday, and when I get off on Monday or Tuesday night, I'll get it rolling.
I need a picture.
I'll get you a picture too.
Nothing sexy now. It's just got to be serious.
Any picture that's taken of me is going to be sexy. I just can't help it.
See, there's a new site that's up. A buddy of mine is the head of the marketing team at churchofmavisradio.com. You check it out. We resurrected a brand new website. It's looking good. And I put all kinds of weird articles on it, and the marketing team does. And Andrew Colvin from New Sorcery Press, does all the John Kill books, the Mothman books, and all that stuff. He's got a little station set up there. So we got
cool.
Andrew Colvin, Mothman photographer, has his own section there. So it's like we're a big flea market. He's got a table, okay? But there's nothing really for sale there but his book. I don't really sell anything there. but he sells his book, which I don't care. That's fine. But nonetheless, I mostly just put up weird news like the Conan TV show that's coming on Amazon. Ron Howard's Opie. Robert Howard, Conan, the Barbarian show coming on Amazon. If that don't get your man nuts squealing, I don't know what does, right?
That's pretty good. I don't look at too many streaming shows because my internet just stinks here, so it's hard to watch anything. But I think through my phone it might be a little easier.
Well, let me ask you, Conan the Barbarian, the TV show, that don't get your gooch percolating?
Good, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but if it's good, I'll like it. But the thing is, with the streaming stuff, my internet is just so glitchy here that if everyone's home, I can't watch Netflix because they take up so much data with all their devices that it sits there and buffers for an hour, and I get 1%, then I watch 3 seconds, then it buffers, then I'll get I might be lucky to see 15 minutes before it buffers again, so it gets frustrating and aggravating.
Well, mine is, but I got that Usenet stuff, and that's how mine is. But it's doing a lot better, honestly. I can watch stuff now, but they've updated some stuff, so it's better. But nonetheless, when it comes to my, situation, there's no broadband here. It's gone. It sounds like you got crappy internet too. We have a crumbling infrastructure, and it seems like Congress doesn't want to fix anything. It's like they're just letting it go to garbage while they fatten their pockets over in Trumplegate's world. But nonetheless, my current thoughts about this current administration are we going to survive? Is there going to be a nuclear holocaust by the end of the summer? That's my current thoughts with the current administration, if anybody's wondering. Are we going to survive it?
Yeah, I think we will. I don't think anyone's going to nukes but that idiot in North Korea and going to get his grand handed to him.
It's like Airplane movie. Let me see who else is coming on. I'm scheduled for May right now. Yeah, May. There's a Aravinda, the Indian Eastern master, spiritual master, immortal self is coming on.
Cool.
Colin Campbell, that's an Aleister Crowley show. He's wrote a book about Aleister Crowley. Robert Kopecki's coming back in April. That's he'll be here for that. I think that's Afterlife. It's his sequel to that book that he's been on before. We talked about Course in Miracles and all that stuff. But nonetheless, you been doing any gaming lately? I just got what did I get? Shadow Colossus, Monster Hunter. I got to get into Monster Hunter. There's some RTSs coming out. There's some real-time strategy games coming out on PC that are, there's Total Britannia, Total War, where you can be the Vikings against raiding the British, and it's like you have the armies, and you have to, politics and all that stuff. There's another one, what is it? Ancestors Legacy, where you're the Norse. It's like, the RTS is like Age of Empires and stuff coming out on PC. Finally, they're doing some good ones. If you get to be the Viking Norse and raid the British, sign me up. I'm doing it.
I haven't done any video, but my friends from work, we get together every week or so and do a board game called Pandemic Legacy. There's two versions. There's season 1, season 2, and we're on season 2. The game originally was just Pandemic, and it's a co-op, 3 or 4 player game where you try to save the world from a pandemic virus. Actually, there's like 3 or 4 viruses going on at once in that game. The seasons 1 and 2, one of those viruses has taken over and destroyed the world. So as you play, rules change, new rules come out, the board changes. You actually put like stickers and stuff on the board to change the look of the board. And each character that you play gets more and special powers and better abilities. And this second season, we had, you play every month. It's a year-long game. So you have two chances to win each month, January through December. And we lost 7 rounds in a row until we won one. And it's just, the game is beating us up. But it's a lot of fun.
What game is it, PC?
No, it's a physical board game called Pandemic Legacy Season 2. It is really, really cool. And really, really hard.
I've been playing this game called, what is it? Tesla versus Lovecraft. And what it is, you're Nikola Tesla in a mech suit. And Lovecraft has let loose the hordes of Doggin and the fish people and from the Necronomicon, and you go in. It's like a twin stick shooter, like Smash TV. You remember that? And you basically are Tesla slaughtering Cthulhu and minions, and they're rising, and it's so beautiful. It gets hard though. It gets difficult. But Tesla versus Lovecraft. It's on Steam. It's coming to consoles. I'm plugging it. I love that game so much. I'm plugging it. Buy it. I need a sequel to Tesla versus Lovecraft. But I got to get back in there, buddy. That's right. It's been a while. Got to get back in the seat, in the mech suit.
What console is it coming out on? Xbox, Xbox One?
It's on PC right now, but it's coming to consoles. And it's not on consoles yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
So it'll probably be on Xbox One, but not 360.
Let me tell you the most anticipated game for April for PlayStation 4. I'm someone that has both consoles, and I don't play them enough. But for this game, I'm going to be there with bells on. God of War is being rebooted, Kratos in the Norse world on PlayStation 4. That's my most anticipated. And then, of course, my next most anticipated is Red Dead Redemption 2, which is like a giant Clint Eastwood situation western from the guys who Rockstar Games. That's coming out in October. But God of War, Kratos in the Norse world, April 20th, I'll be playing that. I'm going in there, and I ain't coming out. But that's going to be good. I don't know. They changed the format because God of War was kind of like this weird game, like where you're just walking around beating the crap out of stuff. Now it's like Skyrim, or they've turned it into like a more like Skyrim. So I think it still has a lot of the great, awesome combat in it. I'm just wondering if you have to like destroy Loki or Thor, if it's going to be like the known Norse gods. I don't know how they're going to do it. They haven't really said, but it looks amazing. I'm sure it'll be something along that line, because I mean, in the older God of War games, you had to kill the Zeus and all the gods. So I'm thinking it'll be. I don't know if it's going to be the gods that we know, if they're going to be weird gods I never heard of. I don't know.
I imagine it'd be gods you've heard of, but you never know. They like to change things up.
Someone just wrote, Trump is the new God, worship him now in the chat room.
Who was that, Gabe?
Trump'll gooch. I'm coming for you, buddy. But nonetheless, looking forward to that ritual. I'm going to watch that tomorrow for sure with the Norse monster situation. But I've been discussing my ancestry. It's Great Britain, Viking. Of course, 86% is what it says, Great Britain, and then it brought up the whole Viking conquest, and then 10% Irish. What else did it say? I had some weird stuff that I don't completely understand. It's weird because I've read articles that people in labs have jokingly added 1% to mess up people who are from the South's DNA report. I don't know how accurate that is, but also my DNA, I think I've said this before, it said I was 1% North African, 1% Jew, 1% Jew, 1% Middle Eastern. I've had Jewish friends tell me you can't be 1% Jew. That's not like even possible. Which I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't care if that's what it is. But if it's not true, they should, if someone's altering it, it should be illegal.
But if you're part Jewish and part Middle Eastern, you must be at conflict with yourself.
Exactly. The Jewish part is my nose. 1% is right there. I have a huge nose. So that's it. But I don't know. I'm going to do it again at another place and see if the same thing comes up. They say you can do, at 23andMe and get a whole nother thing. So who knows, man? I don't know. I don't care one way or another. It's just a flesh pocket to me, man. You're going to shed it and die. I don't care about all that race stuff. It's just illusion, really, in the long run. When you get brain wiped, after you die and you get brain wiped, you're not going to remember your political party. You're not going to remember the race you hate. Because when you die, you're going to be brain wiped.
Yep. It's complete over, yep.
True. We're all on the same team, for Christ's sake. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're all alien, glowy light people on the same team. But when you die, you get brain wiped. So, hey, facts from Jeffy tonight. From the straight jacket's edge. But nonetheless, no, I just did get over the flu. And someone's comparing me to Alex Jones tonight. Oh, God, he's such a little prick. Alex Jones. No, really, what it is I had the flu. So I'm still weak. So I feel kind of weird. It's gone, I think, but it's still like this little weak crap with it that people say it like sticks around for a month or something. So, I mean, I'm over it. I do feel a little, I think I went crazy during it. I'm in the wilderness with the flu, but it was like The Shining up in here. I'm lucky I'm still alive.
Yeah, the flu stuff, I haven't had it in a while, so I'm lucky, but when it gets you, it takes a hold for a while.
No, I still feel kind of like half dead. Well, you're lucky I'm here. I had to prop me up with a stick tonight. It was a pretty good show. I like that lady. It's like a lady running an inn, not a hotel, an inn. Creepy stories. That place has a spirit to it. And Captain Grant's Inn in Connecticut, for sure. So
Connecticut's a beautiful state in the summertime, but this time of year I wouldn't want to go up and visit. But it's not too far. What city was that? Was that inn in?
Hold on. What did I do with the book? Right here. From, gosh, I don't know. You got a copy of it too.
Yeah, it's in my email. I'll just Google it and see where it is. But I was up in Connecticut for a couple of years at school there in Bridgeport, which the city of Bridgeport's kind of an armpit, but it was a beautiful state during the wintertime or the summertime, but the winters are just god awful harsh.
Yeah, I mean, this winter, has been one of the coldest winters I've ever seen in Florida. It's been in the 20s for weeks. It's like the ice age is coming, or it already is. And nonetheless, let me go ahead and do what I got to do so Joe will quit it. Coming up next, Supernatural Substation with Karen Anderson, animal communicator. Listen to United Public Radio, 107.7 FM, New Orleans. And next Friday is Kevin Candela, Shadow Punkers. Jay will be here with us, and we're going to be talking about paranormal and things that go bump in the night. And Kevin, I've had some pretty interesting conversations with Kevin. He's in a band, and he also has an Amazon page of Kevin Candela. We've also, I bet he could get into some Weird West stuff. I love talking about Weird West. That's where it's like a Western, like a normal Western's just going on, or you throw in a friggin' maggot pus-eating zombie or Nosferatu or Skinwalker Lycanthrope. That's Weird West, baby.
Yeah,
I like me Weird West. But what was that one with Kurt Russell? Tomahawk. That's a good Weird West where that came out a few years ago. Kurt Russell's in it. Sid Haig's in it, and they're like it's a Western, and there's like these cannibal troglodytes, and they, have to fight them and everything. That's pretty good.
Oh, God, I have no idea.
It's called Tomahawk, man. Come on. Weird West.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar. I don't think I ever saw any commercials or trailers for that, but...
Look it up. It's only a couple of years old. It's a Western. It was a Kurt Russell comeback movie. Kurt Russell's in it.
All right. So that inn is in Preston, Connecticut, which is just south of Norwich, which is pretty high up in the state. I don't think I ever went to Norwich, but I've been in Bridgeport, Westport, New Haven, and up to Providence, where I think Yale is. But in Storrs, Connecticut, which is way up in the mountains. But yeah, I've never heard of Preston, Connecticut, but Norwich I had heard of. So it's in the middle of the state towards the ocean.
Definitely, and I find ghosts interesting. Ghost isn't really my specialty, but
guess what? Directly across and directly south of where the inn sits in Preston, right across the Long Island Bay, is guess what? Montauk. I mean, it's probably 30, 40 miles away the crow flies.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's some synchronicity going on there.
Montauk, for sure. I still need to watch that Dark Files by Christopher Garantano. He was on History Channel. I still have it on my DVR. Were you here for that, Christopher Garantano?